As we're now finally loading into the last game of day 1 of LEC week 2, we see Schalke facing up against Fnatic. This match quite interesting, most fans expecting Schalke to come out of the gates way hotter than they ended up doing in the first week. Sitting at the 0-2 score right now, looking to still pick up their first win of the split, up here against Fnatic right now. Fnatic coming in with the set top lane pick, whereas Schalke with a lot more early dueling power in the mid-jungle duel. LeBlanc and Jarvan probably going to look to find some advantages right there. Forgiven himself, oftentimes being questioned about whether or not he's going to be able to deliver on the newer champions, or whether or not he would even be willing to adapt to the new champions and pick them in the first place. Right now it looks like a clear yes. He has opted for the Senna that has been a power pick. In fact, the entire bot lane of Schalke with the Senna Braum, a strong meta combo at this point in time. Big power picks for Schalke right there, which on the other side opened the option for Fnatic to get 2 counter picks in that bottom lane. MF and Thresh should have quite a good laning phase, and Miss Fortune herself obviously scaling quite well into the team fight. We'll have to see how the bot lane plays out. For now, Gilius with quite the interesting route. Already at his blue buff, looking to grab that on the Grom for level 3 and maybe look for a early gank on the top side. Set, of course, a champion with a severe lack of mobility. I would not be surprised to see Gilius trying to force the Fnatic's top laner's flash early on in the game to maybe revisit him later on. Selfmade apparently smells it out, does not opt to take his red buff yet, chooses to take down his Crux, probably in order to be able to help out his top laner in case Gilius makes his way up there early. Nice little read coming out there from the Fnatic jungler. And Gilius instead, looking to maybe spot out Selfmade, comes around for a mid lane gank. Nemesis Cassiopeia, just as immobile as said. Gilius still unsure. Now coming in, Nemesis with the early flash. Root lands, but good decision from Nemesis right there. Just flashing out early on, making sure that Gilius doesn't even have the chance to get onto him. Selfmade not willing to give up his camps, as it seems. Nemesis moving into the jungle together with his jungler. Gilius smiting away that Raptor. And a nice little early play coming out from Schalke in the before mentioned strong mid-jungle duo. Nemesis not even able to contest the red buff for his jungler Selfmade, which means Gilius gets that one for free. Abedagi with the mid lane pressure really enabling his jungler out there. Selfmade now being forced to come into the bot side and maybe look for something there. Schalke should obviously be aware of this though. Forgiven with the very early flash. Dreams now forced to flash, the Madlife hook lands onto him and he's going to drop. Wow, that was an impressive play coming out there from Fnatic. The Madlife hook from Hylissang to catch Dreams out. That was really successful. Both flashes blown for the Schalke bot lane. That incentivizes Selfmade to revisit the lane sooner or later. Gragas still level 3, looking to hit that level 6, and then probably going to revisit the bottom lane for maybe some more kills and a snowball play. Now Hylissang flashing onto Forgiven, and he's probably going to drop as well. Selfmade picking that kill up, and right now the Fnatic bottom lane just completely taking over the map with this 1000 gold lead early on. That's going to hurt a lot. Reckless up 1 kill, 1 assist. Now gets a perfect back time with the wave, having crashed into the Schalke tower. And Forgiven, he's going to have a really hard time now finding his way back into this one. Really unfortunate for him, a player who's more so known for actually winning his lane and being up CS early on, now completely having to go for a more defensive strategy himself. Dreams actually flashing in a straight line right there, not even forcing a prediction hook out of Hylissang. And Forgiven not respecting the engaged potential, getting flashed down by Hylissang, dropping way too easily in this situation. Now 3-man mid from Schalke. Teleport coming in from Bupo, being answered from Oruamne. Abidage already low HP, Dreams is too. Dreams going to drop it first, and that's all the kills going down for this little skirmish. Schalke desperately trying to make something work for them. Not even at their strong point in the mid jungle are they now able to find advantages, and this game turned on them so quickly. Maybe through the top side of the map something could emerge, but set already with the Bramble West, which makes it incredibly hard for an Atrox to actually kill him. Gilius walking into a trap. He has no clue. Hylissang landing the hook, throwing out the lantern for Reckless to pick it up. Selfmade CCing the Schalke jungler, and he drops as well. That's 4-0 for Fnatic. 100% kill participation for the jungle support. The synergy of Selfmade and Hylissang already as on point as the Broxa Hylissang synergy ever was, and they're just relentless on this bottom lane. Flash, stun onto Forgiven, Hylissang hooking him, and that's another kill for Reckless. A killing spree now, 5-0, 6.5 minutes in, and this game is realistically already over if Fnatic managed to not let Schalke off that hook. 5 kills so early on, and Schalke with the early draft really almost without any options to really find their way back in this. As I said earlier, the way should probably be through the top lane, but as Fnatic now take down this dragon, Cloud Dragon first off the game, Mountain coming up, Schalke can't even trade that for the Herald, which is a play many teams would actually opt for in this situation, because the Herald simply hasn't spawned yet. It's only 7 minutes into the game, and even Bwipo now forcing the Flasher and the ultimate 2 out of Oruamne. That's just the game going south so quickly on all positions of the map. Forgiven now trying to salvage that lane state, picking himself up that Cull, but it will take a long time for him to stack that one up, and they will just have to sacrifice so many CS and play so defensively in that bottom lane that I don't think this Cull will come online quite as quickly as he would probably prefer it to. Abidage in the middle lane taking so much damage. There was just 3 E's from Cassiopeia, those Twin Fangs, really cutting through the health bar of Abidage. And we'll have to keep our eyes on Selfmade for now, because he's about to hit level 6 and still a bunch of Schalke players without their flashes. In fact, every laner has their flash still missing, so with that Gragas level 6 I expect a nice little gank and some follow-up kills for Fnatic. I'll be curiously waiting for where he decides to place that gank. I'd say the top lane would be a pretty good target for now, because the Atrox without the flash, and also no kills on the set yet, so if Fnatic really manage to get all their players rolling, then there's realistically no way for Schalke to get back into this game. Now, at least Schalke doing the right thing here, not just giving themselves up and losing slowly. They're still trying to opt for plays and accruing some gold along the way wherever they can. The contest of the Herald successfully going over to Schalke. Nice little swap up there. 8.5 minutes in, they get the Herald, trading some bottom lane turret platings, which means Reckless is going to be a huge threat in the mid-game skirmishes of this game, but at least Schalke going to get something back for it with the Herald. Gilius picking that one up. As is tradition, the jungler will most likely be able to distribute it well across the map and get some platings wherever it's possible. Ideally, of course, Schalke would like to get that middle lane turret early on, but I just doubt that Nemesis would be dropping that one with the teleport and the Cassiopeia wave cleared. It's going to be hard. Most likely still the top lane, a good target for them to gank. I would actually have preferred to see the level 3 gank from Jarvan on the top side, as I alluded to earlier. The way easier gank compared to the middle lane, but then again, the LeBlanc Jarvan just such strong combo. As Fnatic look for a little play up here, Selfmade still not having shown himself. Now throwing the barrel out, Dreams completely clueless, being caught out, flashing out with the nice little root coming in from Forgiven. They're able to get out their support alive just this once more, and only expending their flash for the ignite and the Gragas ultimate most importantly. That was A real nice play coming out there from Schalke, not just rolling over and dying in this game, but trying to claw themselves back in it, not giving up more than they need to. Abadagi still trading aggressively, dodging out on that Q from Nemesis too, and Gilly is now looking to maybe make something happen in mid, but they're clearly scared of Selfmade being ready for the counter gank, as Nemesis is just playing so aggressively and far up. Good trades coming in here from the Schalke mid laner, but Nemesis with the level ahead and the 1 kill and the 25 CS, he's just so comfortably sitting on the middle lane lead and not looking to give it up anytime soon. Both bottom lanes having moved to the top lane after the Rift Herald play, which means Schalke is going to have some more plates being dropped up there. Nice little skirmish coming down here, but Gilius the first to the play this time around, which means Bwipo should actually go down, but he turns it around and Odo Omni goes down. Bwipo with the flash out probably ends up dying. Gilius picks that one up, but Bwipo really making the best out of that situation, getting the kill onto Odo Omni, who really just overextended on that trade, but what can you do? Forgiven, whose flash was blown in the top lane as well during that play, probably by Reckless, in a real tough spot, didn't get the kill with the Senna ultimate down there. Of course, picking himself up that assist, but he must be just so far behind compared to Reckless in this game that the teamfight damage threat just won't be there for the upcoming Drakes. I just see all of these going over to Fnatic as they're spiking so hard so soon. No items completed yet for Fnatic. That is due to the diverse choice of partial items being completed for now. Whereas Schalke at least have the Mana Mune completed for Forgiven. Cinderhulk for Gilius, which means some more tanky Jarvan, as isn't surprising for the current game state. He's really not going to be able to blow anyone up, as Fnatic's just so far ahead. 4,000 gold at the 12.5 minute mark. Fnatic just looking to get themselves those objectives. Don't necessarily need to make anything more happen, but just flashing onto the poor Forgiven, who manages to actually make his way out of there with the heal. Fnatic probably too confident in him dropping right there, but Dreams now in the threat of going down as well, having to blow his own ultimate with the Unbreakable, manages to survive the play, but that's the Herald going down for Schalke. They aren't even able to capitalize on that. 2 plates being popped by the Herald, but nobody really able to pick that gold up, which means Schalke just really between a rock and a hard place at this point. Getting dunked and styled and flashed upon all across the map, not really getting anything back anywhere, and that's the aforementioned Dragon going over to Fnatic. Once again, let's see if it's gonna be Infernal map, and yes it is. The Infernal map coming up. Less walls in the jungle. Will be interesting to see how the teams utilize that one. Should actually favor Fnatic, as they're able to move through the jungle and make picks more quickly. Hook, nice little attempt right there coming out. Not gonna land. Forgiven, cautiously avoiding that one. And the Infernal Dragons coming up now should be even worse for Schalke at this point, because the huge AP values coming out from Cassiopeia and even Gragas, as well as the AD values from Misfortune, are going to get accelerated a hell of a lot in case Fnatic are able to pick up those 1 or 2 upcoming Infernal Dragons. Schalke really need to get their foot in the door in the upcoming minutes and just try to avoid Fnatic. Getting all those free objectives. As for now, they're still just forced to drop all those turrets. And we can see the 2 plates being taken by the Rift Herald early on weren't even able to be picked up by Schalke players, which means from turret plating gold alone, they're down 1k gold, and the 2 dragons factor in just makes for a map pressure for Fnatic all across the board. Now, finally, those first items completed by Nemesis, by Reckless 2. That's the first turret going down, solo gold being picked up by Nemesis. He's just going to be so huge as well. LeBlanc usually really good in a situation where she can just try to maybe make a desperation play, get a flank on a Fnatic carry member, but she doesn't even have 1 item completed yet, and not really going to be able to one-shot anyone on this Fnatic team until she has 1 or at least 2 items And the longer the game goes on, obviously it's going to get harder and harder for LeBlanc to get on the people as well. Hence, her early game window is so important to actually take advantage, which Schalke tried to do with the level 1, level 3 gank from Gilius, but ultimately didn't succeed in doing. Fnatic setting up a little Fnatic brush right here. Gilius, a tanky member, checking in. Selfmade not managing to find the cask, and wow, that was a real nice escape from Gilius. Hylissang managing to not pull off the special flay interrupt of the Jarvan flag and dragon. Gilius getting away with a black eye right there, and Fnatic failing on that catch, actually being forced to concede that first turret on the bottom lane. Odoan is surely going to drop for it though. Or is he? With the wall and the nice little boost of movement speed, being CC'd by a self-made, no ult ready yet, flashing the hook, and Odo Omnis out there with just the flash expended and his Unforgiven Sword. That's actually exactly what I was talking about. Schalke not falling behind further than they need to, trying to crawl themselves back into this, getting gold wherever they just can, and Fnatic conceding a little more than they would have to, going for a pick onto Gilius in the topside jungle. Not probably the best option, but then again, if the layering of CCs with the explosive cask of Selfmade and the flay of Hylissang had been on point, they probably would have gotten that kill as well, so I don't want to entirely judge them for it. The micro was just a little off. I like how Gilius is still looking to make something happen on the top side too, and all the first items for Schalke have been completed at this point too, which means they probably should be looking for a fight right now, because the more and more the game goes on, they aren't going to outscale Fnatic. Fnatic with the scaling advantage here. Of course, Schalke still with windows of opportunities in the late game too. LeBlanc maybe finding a pick on an important Fnatic member. A good Aatrox flank could actually end the game. And Senna's damage, of course, huge with the immense range boost she gains over the game time. And Nemesis now camping. Abidage having cancelled his backboard, looking for a Petrifying Gaze, probably throwing down the Miasma. The Petrifying Gaze comes in. Abidage forced to ult away, but Nemesis wisely enough not chasing onto the Schalke mid laner as Gilius was shadowing him up there. Reckless, meanwhile, I mean Fnatic, winning on the bottom side of the play with the Rift Herald being able to push that tier 2 turret on the bottom lane. Schalke just conceding one objective after the other, not really having any options to interfere with those plays thrown out there by Fnatic. And it's getting tougher and tougher. What I was mentioning earlier, Schalke should try to look for fights at this point, because the one item versus the one item is probably the best chance they're gonna get the longer the game goes on. Fnatic is just going to be harder and harder to take down for a LeBlanc flank, for an Aatrox flank, of course, in the team fights too. And really the only scaling option that Schalke has is Forgiven on that center, but Misfortune and Cassiopeia are really not any less useful in the late game team fight, so there would really have to be a lot of stuff going well for Schalke in order to come out ahead on those late game team fights. I would really like to see them look for anything earlier on and actually make use of their one item spikes for now. Maybe for the two items, because that's a point in the game that they're surely going to reach without having conceded all their inhibs yet. On the 2 item mark, I need them to move forward and try to find some engages. Now they're looking at the top side again. Abidage heavily treading on the Nemesis, who smells it out. Nice Petrifying Gaze, stunning both the Schalke jungler in top lane, and no kills coming down on the Fnatic, and they're looking to turn the play right around on Schalke. Gilius in the alcove, not being spotted out yet, but Fnatic, of course, knowing that the jungler still has to be around. Gilius being taken down, the sacrificial lamb for the botched play right there by Schalke, no fear, and it's 1-7. Brazilians, get your tissues out. This game is just always getting harder and harder. The more plays go on, the further Fnatic pull ahead. Really nothing working out here for Schalke at this point. And if you look across the board now, the 2 item mark going to be hit pretty soon for Odoamne and Forgiven 2. And with all their flashes almost up at this point, they should really try to make a contest. Not for this Baron, of course. They can't teamfight this at this point. Fnatic finding the hook on the Dreams. Schalke just really discoordinated. Going in there, everybody dropping down. Whippo soloing out Forgiven on the side. He decides to flash out, but probably won't be able to outrun the set. Just gets taken out as well, and that was just a Hail Mary play that had real low chances of working out. Schalke basically just mentally FFing this one. Fnatic now being able to push through the mid lane, at least going to get that turret. Probably even one more if we look at the death timers for Schalke. Fnatic deciding to push in on that one. The inhibitor's going to be a rather difficult contest. I would be surprised if they actually get it. But Schalke now deciding to let that one drop as well. Fnatic with the items, with the level advantages, able to force them away, and Gilius now overstepping. Being forced to burn a stopwatch. That's just so unfortunate for Schalke. They're giving up so many cooldowns for such little prices for Fnatic that they're effectively not giving themselves a real chance of finding a way back in. Forgiven being flashed on, drops once more. Dreams trying to save his AD carry there, but that's actually already the game ending. Fnatic just really being donated over that win in the last 5 minutes. Schalke not with the mental fortitude or the right eye for the fights to find, and that's actually Fnatic already closing out the game. Reckless making a mark, putting down his foot and saying, no, Granddad Forgiven, you can't come into this league after 4 years of absence and steal my throne. Fnatic coming out ahead in this important second week matchup.